and it happens to be on a freaky date too. 111111.
One one
So we
one
got
one one
a
one.
lot of ones.
That's binary for the end of the world, but no.
I guess it is. Hey, from an administrative note, I just wanted to let everybody know that we are monitoring the live chat on Justin TV. So feel free to place your comments or questions for Shamir there, as well as on Twitter at hashtag eLearnChat. And you can also watch simulcast for this show on liquidlearn.com and also the ISD 2.0 Facebook fan page. This is a mouthful, Rick, at facebook.com/ISD20. I'll turn it back over to you, Rick. I think that's all the administrative stuff.
Well, great. Thank you. And wherever you are, thanks for joining us. And we hope you're having a great day. And today we've got a great guest. We have the product manager for Adobe Captivate, for the Adobe eLearning Suite, as well as now the Adobe Presenter product. And with us today is Shamir Ayyappan from Adobe. Hi, Shamir. How are you?
Hey Rick, I'm doing good. How are you? Hey Terence.
Uh,
Hi,
we're
Shamir.
we're doing great, and just so everyone knows, we are truly international today. Shamir is in Bangalore, India. We are in California, and then we've got people right now in the chat room. Leva from Belgium is in there, and we've got Jeff from Australia, and I'm not sure who else is in the chat room right now.
Wait, Randy Cantrell is in there, but I think we're losing Randy
Okay,
to Dallas traffic.
Randy's a good friend. Hi, Randy. Anyway, so hi, Shamir. How have you been?
I've been good. So thanks once again, Rick, for hosting me. I've been hearing a lot about eLearnChat and since you mentioned it, definitely looking forward to participating in it. I was just apprehensive, as I said before, about the whole concept of Skype on my low bandwidth networks, but I'm glad I took you up on the offer. So,
It actually looks great.
Yes.
And
That's
considering
a
you're
good.
probably about 10,000 miles away, it doesn't look bad at all.
It's like you're right next door.
right. So,
And
and
we're
it,
seeing Skype used more and more as on news shows. CNBC frequently brings their guests in on Skype. So I think we're getting accustomed to the little nuances and the little imperfections that we get with Skype. So we're getting more accustomed to them, which makes a show like this possible, where people aren't looking at it and saying, "Oh, I can't watch that ticking motion that Skype causes," because now they're seeing it just about everywhere.
And the nice
yeah,
thing,
and sorry. Go ahead.
go ahead, Shamir.
No, I was just going to say, honestly, this is the first time that I'm using Skype. So, for a techie, I guess that's not something that's said, but truthfully, this is the first time. But it was really easy to set up, and yeah, I'm amazed at the product.
Yeah, I've only been on it for about a year, and it's great. It's just a real nice tool for a lot of reasons. Anyway, Shamir, let's talk about things going on with Adobe. Um, you guys have had a big year with the release of Captivate 5, a major release, as well as the eLearning Suite 2. So what new things can you talk about? What's happening in the future?
That's right. So, as you said, it was one of our biggest releases for Captivate 5. As you're aware, we rebuilt the product pretty much from scratch. We The whole product the code has been rewritten. It's now, previously it was based on Delphi, and now it's based on C++, and also the UI. So made use of this opportunity to revamp the UI to give it a more Adobe look and feel. I know some of you have complaints about the Adobe look and feel,
Oh, only one
but
thing.
that's I know the contrasts, but yes. So we've made use of this opportunity to get it to look more like an Adobe product, and to 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 be in a position to do a lot more powerful stuff with the product to make it more extensible. So I think that's what the UI gives us, and it doesn't. When Captivate started off, it was a screen capture tool, and moving in application capture was its forte. But as it grew into a complete rapid e-learning authoring tool, we really had to look at, what would be a more apt UI, and I think that's what we've got currently.
You made the audience happy with that
Was
one.
that one of your special effects? Okay.
No, that's the audience. Actually, they're live.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, one of the other things you asked, I guess, was, so what are our plans? So we continue to focus on the e-learning suite, and what we are seeing in the market today is a lot more of the existing Captivate customers drifting towards e-learning suite. So I think in the last few months, I've visited customers across the US and Europe, and I've heard this across these geos in terms of existing Captivate customers looking to move to e-learning suite. Um, I think, I've seen both parts. I've seen people who really use the entire set of products in the suite and get the complete value. And, so they really want to move to e-learning suite. And I also think e-learning suite is now an aspirational product currently for a lot of e-learning professionals. It's more like, if you're a e-learning professional, you need to use the e-learning suite, or, doctors use Colgate types. So that's what we're saying. And so I think it's a good thing. And so because of that, we're going to focus a lot more on the suite and the workflows in the suite and how the products tie together to help you create more, um, uh, to help you create much more richer e-learning in shorter time spans.
Well, one of the things we talked about a little bit in the pre-show was that because of the economy worldwide, really, more people have to do, or less people have to do more work. And that's where the benefit of just having more software comes in handy. If you have Captivate and you have 10 other tools with it, or 7 other tools, it makes a difference, especially if you don't have the resources to have 5 or 6 people doing the work. We're finding just a lot of people are doing the work of one person, and or multiple persons, and that does cause people to become very creative in how they learn to use tools and what they use. Now, the e-learning suite's kind of the quarterback, if you will, of I'm sorry, Captivate is the quarterback of the e-learning suite in a lot of ways, correct?
That's right. That's right. So the way we've designed the suite is for, as you put it, for Captivate to be the quarterback, for Captivate to be like the fulcrum of the suite. So it acts like the aggregator from where you would start, start creating a framework for your project. And then once you have this framework or a template in place, you would reach out to the other asset creation tools in the suite, like be it Photoshop or Soundbooth or even Flash for that matter, to bring in graphics or animations or audio and populate this template and framework so that you have a much richer e-learning project. And so Captivate helps pull all of this together. And so yes, Captivate definitely is the central product in that suite.
What were you finding that the Captivate users were complaining most about with the earlier versions of Captivate that Adobe listened to and decided to step up and answer those issues with Captivate 5? So,
So, sorry, was there something else?
no, that was it.
Somebody? Okay. So, Captivate currently has grown into um, yeah, a complete rapid e-learning tool. So, what I was trying to say there is Captivate is used by different people for different things. So you have a bunch of people who use Captivate for application simulations. You have a bunch of people who use Captivate for for the quizzes and publishing to the LMS, and you have a large set of people who use Captivate as the end-to-end authoring tool with other assets coming. So depending on which functionality or which segment of these three sets that I described you fall in, we had different sets of requirements coming in for the product. So um, from our existing users of Captivate, the requirement and the demand always was to make the tool more powerful. Uh, as we added features, people found new ways to push the envelope with the product, and you know really reach out and find new, really complex projects that they could create. And because of that, there were more requests for making the product more powerful, making it at the same time, making it easier to um, author content in shorter time frames. So we try to address both of those things, which, as you can imagine, is a little tricky because you're trying to make
Sure.
the product more powerful, at the same time um, make it a little more easier to use, at least make it possible for users to create content and manage content more easily. So from a more powerful perspective, we had the advanced actions that we had introduced. We improved on the advanced actions. We improved on how these worked with the widgets and the variables. So we introduced the concept of effects in the product. So being able to add effects to different Captivate objects without having to go into Flash to do this. Those were things that we added, which made the product more powerful. From ease of use perspective, or from the perspective of being able to create content more easily, being able to manage content more easily, we introduced object styles, we introduced master slides. All of these allowed you to edit and maintain content much more easily in a much shorter time frame. So those were, I think, the two key things that we addressed in the product based on the requirements that were coming in.
Is it sounded like you said there that there was maybe not necessarily a shift, but an increase in the opportunity to animate or animate objects without the use of Flash. Is that to address some of the what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, some of the conflict that's going on now with the future of Flash.
Actually, no. So, the current conflict is about the publish format, right? It's
Yes.
about being able to publish it to Flash and then different devices consuming this Flash-based content. So, no, that's not what I was referring to. I was actually referring to the initial statement that Rick had made with, people having to wear multiple hats, people being expected to be the instructional designer, be the content developer, be the graphic designer. So, in many cases, there will be a large set of people who are not familiar with Flash Pro, the authoring tool. And if you are creating a project that requires you to add some effects or some animations, previously you had to, hand off that part of the work to somebody who was familiar with Flash, be it a graphic designer or whatever. But now, with us introducing this concept of effects inside Captivate, you will now be able to create this within Captivate, and Captivate is, to a large extent, fairly easy to use. So
Sure.
that's what I was referring to. And
Okay.
another nice thing that this FX does is you can have really complex animations or effects that were created in Flash, and we have something called the motion XML, which represents the different, the